All right, thanks for that, Joshua. Well, Aaron Spencer's pretrial started this morning. Now, you may remember he faces second-degree murder charges in connection with the death of a man accused of abusing his teenage daughter. Spencer is accused of killing 67-year-old Michael Fosler last October after finding him with his 14-year-old daughter. Prosecutors say the killing was planned months in advance, showing, quote, clear intent. Now, you may remember this has gone pretty viral nationwide as Spencer is running for Lonoke County Sheriff and recently won the Republican primary, taking in 54% of the votes. He will be facing Democratic candidate Brian Mitchell Sr. for sheriff in November. But if convicted, Spencer would be ineligible to hold office. Today's hearing is addressing pretrial procedures as the case moves forward. Also happening today, Senator Markwayne Mullin from Oklahoma is set to have a Senate confirmation hearing. President Trump nominated him to lead the Department of Homeland Security. Mullin would take over from outgoing Secretary Kristi Noem, who was fired from the role. This past year, the Associated Press reports that high-profile immigration enforcement operations have resulted in high arrest numbers. However, the shooting deaths of 2 protesters by federal officers in Minneapolis have led to calls for reform. Today's hearing started at 8:30 a.m., and we will continue covering this story as information becomes available. You can find that info right here on air and on our website, 5newsonline.com. Well, the death toll on both sides of the fighting between Iran and the U.S. and Israel is on the rise. In the Middle East, the fighting also threatens much of the world's crude oil supply, both on land and in water. Natalie Brand has the details.
President Trump heads to Delaware this afternoon to honor the 6 service members killed when their refueling plane crashed last week in Iraq.
This is, I know, the hardest thing the president does as commander-in-chief and as president. He made it a point to adjust his schedule to be there to grieve with these families.
In Iran, a funeral procession was held for Iranian security chief Ali Larijani and the besieged commander killed in Israeli strikes Tuesday. On Wednesday, Israel announced it had also taken out Iran's intelligence chief. The Iranian regime vowed revenge, launching several more missiles at Israel. Israeli first responders said 2 people were killed near Tel Aviv by falling debris. The U.S. focused its latest round of military strikes on targets along the Strait of Hormuz as Iran continues its blockade of the waterway, critical to the shipment of around 20% of the world's oil. U.S. Central Command said the U.S. had dropped multiple 5,000-pound bunker-busting bombs on hardened Iranian missile sites along the strait. President Trump has criticized U.S. allies for not stepping up to help open the strait.
We don't need too much help, and we don't need any help, actually. This was a great test, because we don't need them, but they should have been there.
Wednesday morning, the president on social media said he wonders what would happen if we finished off what's left of the Iranian terror state and let the countries that use it, we don't, be responsible for the so-called strait. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Well, we have also learned one of the U.S. service members who died during the conflict in Iran graduated from OSU. Oklahoma State University confirmed Air Force Major John Klinner was one of 6 crew members who died in the refueling accident this month in the Middle East. Klinner attended OSU and graduated from their Master in Business Administration program last year. He served for 8 years with the Air Force and had just been promoted to major in January. He leaves behind a wife and 3 children, including 7-month-old twins. We have an update on Live Nation's proposed music venue in downtown Bentonville. Last night, the city's Planning Commission approved plans for the proposed 2,500 capacity music venue. The proposed ballroom would be located next to the Momentary and, if approved further, would open in 2028. Though last night's meeting did center around parking, according to the plan, Phase 1 would include a 400-space parking garage. We'll keep an eye on any new developments and bring you the latest right here on 5 News. We are learning more about next steps for Fort Smith's Pear Island Water Park. In January, directors approved allocating $2.4 million for new water slides. Despite concerns from residents about the cost, the project is moving forward. Last night, city leaders approved 2 contracts to continue construction, one for just over $1.7 million, covering site work and structural components, another for more than $664,000 for plumbing and pool systems. Leaders say these steps are necessary to complete the project. The board also approved an agreement with American Resort Management to operate the park for the 2026 season, as some residents continue to call for more transparency.
We love the water park. That's been great. That's not what this is about. This is about the governance that was employed to get the water slides passed. So what I want to happen is I want to see a full audit, and then I want to see the water slides put into storage. And I think that we need to sell them. And it's not out of retribution. It's out of the fact that we can't afford it.
City leaders say that they've taken steps to address concerns, including moving to a competitive bidding process. Going forward, cost and revenue between the city and county will be split evenly. They also say more than $273,000 remaining will go towards third-party inspections and other site improvements.